Today, August 24th. Today we started one-step equations, so I'm going to kind of run through some practice problems for you. It's going to be page 17 in the workbook. If you don't have the workbook, it's the 824 Solving One-Step Equations PDF that's posted on my Canvas page. All right, so the main thing I need you to remember or focus on today is you're going to see this new word called inverse. It's a fancy way of saying the word opposite. So when you're solving equations, you want to do the opposite operation in order to get the variable or the letter by itself. So this is what I mean by opposite. So addition and subtraction are opposites. Multiplication and division are opposites. Okay, so when we're working with these operations, we want to use the opposite operation to move numbers away from the variable and to get it by itself. All right, so this is number 1 on your workbook. I just have it zoomed in so I can write bigger. So first step, what you always want to do when solving equations is draw a line, hopefully straighter than mine, down the equal sign so that you have a left side and a right side. Okay, so here's my variable, here's my letter. I want to get it by itself. Any number that's on the same side as the letter, I want to move to the other side. So obviously 7 is the number I want to move. So going back, opposite or inverse operations, the opposite of plus 7 would be minus 7. And I draw a little line right there. When solving equations, you want to have this line right here. You have a left side and right side. You want to keep it balanced. So what I mean by that is whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. It's like a mirror. Okay, so I have minus 7, minus 7. I did the opposite operation. So this is what ended up happening. Positive 7 minus 7 is 0, and that cancels out. That's good. That's what we want. Okay, I don't want to forget about my letter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down here, still on the same side, didn't cross over. I'm going to put my little equal sign. Then I come over here and simplify or solve this. 9 minus 7 would be 2. I have no more numbers here. I have no more numbers, just the letter there. So that is my answer. Okay, yes, this is a very simple problem. We probably could have figured out up here 2 plus 7 is 9. But the whole point of today in this week is learning the process of moving numbers from this side to that side so that we get the letter by itself. Okay, so it might seem easy, it might seem boring, but I want to practice the process of getting the letter, the variable by itself. All right, one more practice problem with addition. Okay, this is number 2 right below it. Okay, so same thing every time. I want to go a line down the equal sign, and then I'm going to find my letter and move that number away from the letter. So this plus 17, the opposite operation of plus would be minus. So I minus 17 on this side, I minus 17 on that side. Okay, remember what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So over here, 17 minus 17 is 0, cancels out, that's what I want. My r, my variable, is going to come down here, and then I just go do my math problem on the other side. Negative 2 minus 17 is negative 19, and there's my final answer. Okay, one step that it took, this minus 17 to minus 17. That's what it means by one step to get a final answer. All right, I'm going to jump back up to number 7 now because we're going to go a different operation. We're going to start with a subtraction sign. Same process, I'm just going to do different operations. Line down the equal sign. 14 is on the same side as the x, so I want to do the opposite operation. So minus is going to go to plus. I add 14 on one side. I have to go add 14 on the other side. Okay, so minus 14 plus 14 is 0, cancels out. My x will come down here, my equal sign, then I come over here to the right side and do my math problem of 10 plus 14 is 24. Okay, another example, it's all a chicken scratched right here, but that's an 8, I had a little typo. So number 8 is n minus 4 equals 2. Line. So the opposite of minus 4 plus 4. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. So this is going to cancel out, and n equals 2 plus 4 would be 6. Okay, let's jump back up. Now we're on 13. We're on another operation. Okay, so this is important. This is new in algebra. You don't really use, or you never really use, an x for multiply anymore. It's a dot, or they put a number and a letter together. So I come over here and there's nothing in between these two. That really means there's a little multiply dot right here. It's implied that the 4 is being times or multiplied to the x. Okay, same process, line down the equal sign. Over here, the opposite of 4 times, the opposite of times would be division. So I'm going to draw a little fraction bar because a fraction is a division problem. Okay, so this says times 4, so I'm going to divide by 4, so I do the opposite operation. If I divide by 4 on this side, I have to divide by 4 on that side. Okay, so then now I'm going to start canceling out like I've been doing. So I come over here, this times 4 divide by 4 cancels. I can bring down my x right here. Then over here on my math side, I have 20 divided by 4, which is 5. Okay, the problem right below it, another example of multiplication. This one's a little different only because now they put the letter on the right side, but that's not going to change anything. We're just going to be moving the numbers in a different direction, but it's still going to be the same process. So I'm going to find my equal sign. I'm going to go line down the equal sign. I find out right here that negative 19 is being multiplied to the letter b. So I'm going to do the opposite of times, and I'm going to divide by negative 19. If I divide by negative 19 on one side, I have to divide by negative 19 on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to start simplifying, crossing things out over here. That's going to go away. I'm going to bring that letter b down right there. And on this side, 171 divided by negative 19 is negative 9. So there is my answer. Okay, so that's 2 multiplication problems. Let's jump back up to our last, didn't erase that. Sorry about that. Our last type of example is number 19. Okay, again, how I mentioned earlier, this is a fraction. A fraction is a division problem. Okay, so that's telling me that that letter x is being divided by 8. So the opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to put a multiply sign here. I'm going to put my 8 out over here. So divide 8 and times 8 are going to cancel each other out. Okay, I'm going to go to the other side. Since I multiplied 8 right here, I'm going to multiply by 8 right there. So that these will cancel. I can bring down my x. And then over here I have 10 times 8, which would be 80. Okay, so that's starting with a fraction or a division problem. And here's my last example we're going to go over in this video is number 20 right below it. Again, I have a fraction. I know that's a division. So this says x divided by 8. So the opposite of divide is multiply. So divide 8, multiply by 8. If I multiply by 8 on this side, I have to multiply by 8 on that side. I got to keep it balanced. So those will cancel. And x equals negative 8 times 8, which would be negative 64. Okay, so what I would like for you to finish this worksheet all the way to question 24, and you won't be submitting anything today, but that would be today's assignment for August 24th.